Morning. We're just heading into Stone, which is a nice little town in Staffordshire. We've been hanging out in the sticks for quite a bit recently, so it'd be quite nice to get a little bit of town life back. There's a hardware shop here, apparently a good hardware shop, which would be cool because I've got a few boat jobs to do.
We've reached the water point, our end destination for today maybe, but we're just by the town centre. It's pretty cold and William still won't keep his socks on. So that's going to be one of my missions while we're in Stone, is I've got to find some way of keeping them on, or like getting him some shoes or something like that, because it's getting really cold. He doesn't seem to mind, but it makes it hard to carry him places because I just feel for his little tiny toes. Breakfast time, William.
Can you hear that?
Both socks off. Right, me and William are off to go get socked. Go get socked in Stone.
Have fun.
Thank you. Yeah, so I found a place that sells baby clothes. I'm heading up there now. And there also seems to be a farmer's market on here today, which I'll definitely be stopping at. It's really busy, it's the whole way up the high street. And there's a lot of people out. There's also lots of cafes, nice gift shops and things. Quite a well-appointed town.
Joe and William are going out for a bit. It's time for a bit of DIY. I don't know if you can see down there, but there's quite a bit of water, which isn't ideal, and it's in there because where we are always trying to preserve the canoe, we push the boat to the front of the lock, but then on some of these locks they're pretty deep and leaky. Quite a lot of water comes in. So my little mini task for this morning is to get that out. So it's not an orthodox solution, but I'm using an old pump hooked up to a 18-volt battery, and I'm holding that end of the pipe down with a canoe paddle.
That's where we're heading for. It's so convenient when you can just pull up to a town.
While I'm at it, I'm going to bail out the canoe. That drink bottle isn't mine. That was a little, just did a casual bit of litter picking while we were out in the canoe one day.
First shoe appointment.
I know, wow. And I'm trying to flatten your foot, but it's okay. Yeah, love this.
Now Holly's getting the treatment. All this water in the engine room is coming from a little leak in the stern gland, it's called. It's where the propeller shaft leaves the boat, and that's been quite a problem for a while. It just drips, but over time obviously that water builds up to quite a bit, so we'll see how it goes. I've got to stop that leak because it's becoming a little bit embarrassing, if anything.
Show everyone your new shoes.
This is the bit that I'm talking about, the stern gland. Down here feels like a little bit the grim reality of owning a boat. I would love to just show you sort of shiny niceness and everything being sort of totally finished and perfect all the time, but the reality is boats just want to sink. Or at least it feels that way sometimes. And this has been a bit of an ongoing problem on this boat. But it will get fixed and stuff. It's just sort of, this is kind of part of the, not daily, but maybe like weekly maintenance that we do. We do a lot more of this than we show on the videos, obviously, but it'd be so boring if we showed it all. Here it is. Oh, you can't even really see, but this is the stern gland. So I'm only tightening it up a little bit. Yeah, quarter turn there, quarter turn here. It's not the grimmest job, but it's pretty grim. But what stops the water coming in between the propeller shaft and that sort of brass thing is basically rope and grease. This is a stern tube greaser. I've emptied all the grease out of it, it's empty now. So I'm refilling it. Greasy, greasy. And as you wind that, it pushes the grease down that tube. Down to your stern gland that's lurking there in the darkness.
How cute are they? They are the ones they had for like before they can walk. So they're really soft little shoes. But he tried them on with the socks. The socks they had there were the little ones with the bows on, but I kind of love them. They're like little school shoes or some school socks. We'll go down to the farmer's market and see if we can get some cake for Vic. Oh, that's good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cool.
Right. Should we head back for some dinner?
Yeah.
Should we get you ready for bed? Time to say good night. Let's get you in bed.
I don't know if you remember, a few weeks ago we were dealing with some battery dramas on Holly, and it might not surprise you to know that I didn't fix them properly. We've been having little trouble with the batteries. I suspect one of the batteries has gone duff. So I'm sorry my friend, but you are excluded. And then I'm hoping that'll get us another couple of weeks out of these. I was kind of waiting for them to just completely break. That's happened now. So the time's come to replace the battery bank completely. So in front of me here are 6 brand new Trojan batteries. They're 6 volts each, which means I'll have to cable them up a little bit differently, and they're really heavy. So my first job will be just to get them in the boat. Okay, so I've laid out my batteries how I think I'm going to arrange them. The arrangement is a bit different because they're 6 volts each. So you have to do some funny tricks with how you put the cables to sort of bump them up to being a 12 volt battery bank overall. So what I'm going to do now is disconnect all of the old batteries, take them out of the battery box and put these new ones in. 5 disconnected batteries. The connection sizes of the terminals on these batteries is bigger. They're bigger than the ones on these new ones. So these little lugs and stuff that all the cables are ended with will all have to change. Bit of a mistake I made on my part, because I was kind of hoping to reuse some of those cables, but it's not the end of the world. It's pretty expensive though. That's good. Thought I'd broken the lens then. That was almost an even more expensive project than it is already. So I've got some new battery cable to connect these lot together. First, I've got to cut this cable to length. That's using my cable cutter, the ferocious cable cutter tool. And then next, I've got to carefully cut the insulation off around to expose just enough of that copper wiring to fit inside one of the lugs to connect it to the battery. And then I've got to clamp that lug onto all those copper strands using the unforgiving jaws of the crimp tool. Been a while since I've used any of these tools. Looks like I'm not the only one who's getting a little rusty. There we go. One done.
We are pooped. We're pooped. Oh. Moo cow. Moo cow. That's a new one. That one's just being honed at the moment.
We've all had dinner. Now I'm going to go back and finish what I started with these battery cables.
I hope it goes well. Oh, dropped on his foot. Best of luck with it.
Welcome to the torchlight edition. I'm powering on through the night. I can't have the lights on in here anymore because we're not getting any solar, and obviously I've isolated this battery bank, so there's no power on board at all. So that's my battery bank so far. The next connection that I've got to make is across the two batteries from the positive of one to the negative of the other. That's how I'll arrange them in series, but I'm a little bit scared about this next bit. I can't lie to you, just because it feels wrong to be connecting a positive straight to a negative. But I know that it's alright to do. That's just how you arrange them in series, and it's how we're going to get the voltage up from the 6 volts, which is what these batteries are, to the 12 volts that we need to run everything at. But okay, here goes. Doesn't feel like you should be doing that. I know that it does work, but I don't know why. The last thing I have to do is modify the 2 cables that connect the battery bank up to the rest of the system. So I'm chopping off these lugs that were too big, and I'm adding on ones that are the right size. Just to make sure that I've got this all connected up right, I'll do a quick voltmeter check across the batteries. If I test the volts just across one battery, it's like 6.2 volts, but then across the 2 where I've connected them in series, it's like 12.5, and across the whole bank in total it's 12.5. So that was just a little check that I've just done for myself, just to let me know that I've connected it up right, and I've ended up with 12 volts and not connected it up wrong and ended up with like, I don't know, 48 volts or something crazy. So now if I flick this switch, I connect them up to the rest of the circuit. So that's it, they're on. Woo! That's pretty good. So now we've got new batteries, we should be back in business. Might have to put our coffee prices up a little bit after this. That was a pretty expensive little job that I've just done. But it's good thing to have done. They're proper batteries in there now. Good night, guys. Sleep tight.
Operation Stone.
We're in Stone at the moment, which is a town in Staffordshire, and we're going to have a little look around it. Hopefully we're going to tell you guys some stuff about it. I guess you could say actually that this episode very much set in stone.
No.
Yes. In Staffordshire as a county, it's known for oatcakes, which are basically like pancakes made with oats, I think. We had some from the boat cake boat a couple of weeks ago, and they're a pretty big thing in Stone. There's loads of cafes and stuff selling them, so
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have to go for an oatcake while we're here, aren't we? On the other side of the canal behind me here is another one of the things that Stone's known for. It's Jules Brewery. Although I don't think they're brewing beer, maybe not in these buildings now. I think now it's just like a big sort of pub and restaurant. And it's also one of the reasons why the canal goes through it, because I think the main reason is Wedgwood Pottery, which is a bit further up. They wanted to get their crockery up to Liverpool and out to international trade and stuff. But Jules Beer was also traded internationally, also along this canal, so there were beer boats, which would be a pretty dangerous boat to work on, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah, I actually read a bit about beer boats.
So would the crockery boat.
Oh, I wouldn't want to be on that.
Don't know which I'd
Bull in a
rather.
china shop.
Probably the beer boat, obviously, but
You don't want to be on the beer boat, then the china boat.
yeah, exactly. I had to keep those workers separate.
I'm reading a book at the moment about 3 girls who took over a couple of boats during the war, and they talk about the beer boats, and the beer boats had priority, I guess because everything else was like steel, cement, all that kind of stuff, whereas beer, being a perishable good, got to just go right through.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's quite good. I think that's the reason, unless it is just to like get it down there before it's all drunk.
The oatcakes and the milkshakes, the chipper old granddad had to sweat to buy.
I think oatcakes are specific to Staffordshire and particularly Stoke, because they used to feed the workers who worked at the potteries. But what I'm loving about my oatcake journey is that everywhere seems to have it's really traditional ingredients. You get like cheese as a base or a plain base, and then you just add, it's like breakfast items: bacon, sausage, fried egg, hash brown. They're really cheap as well. Like the one with the cheese is £1.50, which I just think, what is £1.50 anymore?
Yeah.
It's like a fresh fast food kind of snack.
Yeah, not even
So I think that's pretty good. Oh, our oatcakes are coming.
Yeah, that's the one with the hash brown.
Oh yeah, that's me, please. Thank you.
Some little flurry of excitement at this. They are good, aren't they? What have you gone for? You're going to have to tell people now.
I'm ashamed. I've gone for hash brown and a little black pudding.
They're good, aren't they?
£1.45. I would highly recommend an oatcake. You can get like triple decker oatcakes filled with like bacon, eggs, hash browns, beans, mushrooms. You know, we went quite modest with our order. I find it really funny that William was born in Derbyshire and now he's like eating oatcakes when he's this little, because it's like not something that's come from either of us. It just feels funny. I guess it's a product of us moving around, but I don't know, it just seems weird. Because it seems like now would be the time to sort of imprint on him the traditions of like wherever you're from, and we're just borrowing from all different counties of England.
So that was Stone. There's a plaque here that said that when the canal came through Stone, the people of Stone Town were so excited they got a little bit over enthusiastic. And as part of the celebration for opening the canal, they obviously had a cannon. They fired it off a little bit too much, caused loads of damage, broke one of the locks, smashed up a couple of the boats.
Oh, that's a good start.
Yeah. There's old James Brindley.
There's old Wedgie.
Brindley.
Brindley.
And it was those two lads made it happen.
Cheers, dudes.
Thanks. Now we're off. We're off on the boats again up to where Wedgwood is. Barlaston. Yeah.
And we've got the potteries to come in Stoke. Trent and Mersey, we're going to try and stop there. But there's loads coming up that we're pretty excited about. What's that? 3 little beetles. 2 mice in love. The end.
And perhaps this is also the end of our story for this evening, folks. But thanks for watching. Big thanks to the Petron crew. See you next week.
Bye.